Yo, 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 you already know who it is. It's the last descendant of Yasuke, sub overdub for all anime. Salsa dancing ninja, stay on his toes. Got a sake flight ready to go, because it's your boy, Hawkins Hanzo.
With the run?
Hey.
And to my left.
To your left, to
La
your left.
izquierda.
Whoa. Okay. Is it
Is
Japanese? Is it Korean? Is it Chinese? Is it Cantonese? I don't know.
He's right. He's
Anyway, we out here early. Sacagawea, they put her on the coin. Thought we'd forget about slavery, but we didn't. And to my left.
Wait, who are you? We're just gonna keep on going.
What? Nani?
I'm going home.
Hey, yo. It's time to go to bed.
I'm looking at this cannon right here in front of me. It's QC, your favorite support character with boundaries.
Hey.
Looks like I'll really have to set them tonight.
Nani?
That's all you got.
That's it.
All right,
My left.
Man. All right. You already know who it is. Big Dan.
Big Dan.
Rodan. DBA.
Hey.
Currently as, because it might change. There's some other Big Dans out here I found out.
Big Dan.
That multiverse thing is crazy.
It was crazy.
Very
But you already know who it is. I'm coming to you live from the 215, your comic book connoisseur, your sommelier of sci-fi and superheroes. Here to welcome you to the Blerd Bar. How we doing?
good. How are you, sir?
I am.
Quite well.
Today's been a day.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I feel like Tuesday shouldn't be the busiest day of the week. But now because everybody work from home, and then they come in on Tuesdays, they turn their Tuesdays into Mondays. I don't bang with that.
So they be dragging their feet like it's Monday.
I literally dealt with a bunch of people who came in for one time and won't be back for months, but they need a whole setup at their desk.
That's ridiculous.
No,
And it was not just one person. I literally assisted the upwards of 20 people for people who aren't coming back for months.
Well, at least your day went by fast, I would assume.
No.
No?
No, I was done by 10 o'clock.
10 a.m.?
Yeah.
What time did you start?
About 8 o'clock. I moved fast.
So did your day not go by fast?
Huh?
So did your day not go by fast?
No, I still had from 10 till the end of my shift.
Oh, no, you made it sound like that was it, 10 a.m.
No.
Muy
Man,
rápido.
that would be a blessing.
Sure. I work fast out here in these streets.
Yeah. Speaking of Big Dans and multiples of them, I changed my name on YouTube to Kenny Sparks. I had no idea that there are so many of me in different shades, complexions. and
You didn't know the world had other Ken Sparks out here?
Well, I do know there's another Kenny Sparks on the other side of Philadelphia who is not related to my family. But I did know that so many were
Inquire
on YouTube.
about that.
There's
That
Kenny
sounds
Sparks
like-
music. There's Kenny Sparks, a guy who does like taxes. I'm like, yo, this multiverse is trash. You know what I mean?
That doesn't sound like
The
trash.
Kenny Sparks that has the at Kenny Sparks. He's a preacher who hasn't posted in like 8 years. And I'm mad at him.
Just send him an email.
I can't contact him.
Because
Because they might be deceased.
You can
know what I
actually
mean?
reach out to like YouTube, I think, and be like, hey,
Yeah.
this account hasn't had activity on it. Can y'all give me this?
But in another note, we
Yes,
got
let's,
some
let's move
wine
on.
with
I'm out here doing
us.
business.
Business.
I am going to tell you about the Black Girl
Wait, what's our
Magic.
weird question? We got a weird question?
I'm going to let y'all pour the thing first. And
Oh,
we
and
can
then
chat.
Oh, okay, my bad. Hey, Master of ceremonies.
And just doing
He's
what I
trying to
can.
move the show along.
So we have Black Girl. He's doing his best. Black Girl Magic Red Blend. Now, this is
Red
from
Blend.
the McBride sisters. You guys can go ahead and pour yourselves some.
Y'all pour me one since I'm the black woman.
Black Girl
That's all.
Magic
Hail the Queen.
Red Wine, California, 2019 vintage. This is from the McBride Sisters collection. Black Girl Magic is more than a phrase. It's a feeling, a look, a mood, a taste. The Black Girl Magic collection is our personal ode to our culture and story. Inspired by the magic and resilience of black women to be enjoyed by all, we created these wines to draw a parallel to the culture, beauty, and style of black women as a means to inspire, inform, and invite in all who appreciate and respect what Black Girl Magic truly means. Our red blend is smooth, voluptuous, and full-bodied with flavors of cherry and plum, cedar, and vanilla.
I was waiting you to say blood.
I also have, let's see what they say on the website. We blend soft Merlot with structured Cabernet Sauvignon. For this elegant, seductive wine, black cherry and fleshy red plum meet in a smooth, voluptuous mouthful with hints of cedar and vanilla. Proudly fruit-forward and full-bodied, this wine balances silky tannins and fruit all the way through the round, luxurious finish. Pair with jambalaya, smoked brisket, cheesy pasta, eggplant parm, or classic barbecue. Black Girl Magic.
Black Girl
Red Blend.
Oh, where was the applause?
He played it.
Oh, I
You can't hear it.
Oh, you want some more?
I mean, yours is kind of heavy.
It's
Like,
funny, you poured
Was
the
it?
black
It
woman
looks
the,
like
the
yours
least
is-
amount.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just trying to be polite out here in these
Good.
streets.
Sorry.
Okay, you good.
I didn't know.
I gotta drive home.
Oh yeah, I forgot you can only take one sip. You should have gave him that little cup right there. All right, that's good. Thanks.
They should have like a Uber people
take
where they
the-
come and drive you
Yeah,
home.
I take
your
that
car.
a little bit.
Oh, that's smart.
What's that?
Uber people
Or
where they
somebody
come and drive you home
somebody
in your
just catches
car.
the bus to your house,
Right.
or cut the bus here just to drive you home.
Exactly.
But cheers.
Cheers. Salute. On the
Oh,
things.
we clinking glasses?
We can.
Okay. We out here with wine glasses too.
Hey.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
I mean-
That one was wild.
Trying to break
But
But yeah,
wine glasses.
have a little taste and see what you think. Do you think it lives up to all of the descriptions? Are you getting the black cherry and fleshy red plum?
Getting the black cherry.
I've been getting some
Getting the-
cherry.
The
In the
voluptuous
flesh.
mouthful with hints of cedar and vanilla?
I
I've
do
never
taste the
described
flesh.
anything that's been voluptuous mouthful.
I got the
I wouldn't know
vanilla
what
on the
to
back.
compare that to.
The proudly straightforward
I guess
and
like heavy or
full-bodied.
Prowly.
Hey,
thick.
Yeah. What are you guys thinking? It has some legs on it.
so, as the least experienced alcohol consumer here, would it be strange for me to say that it doesn't feel like I'm drinking alcohol? It feels like I'm drinking juice-ish substance more so than alcohol.
So it's juicy.
It's juicy, if you will. I do taste the cherry. The cherry's good. I also feel like it's light in flavor, if that makes any sense. Like there's nothing really punching me in the tongue roll region.
This is a suggestive conversation.
It is. While you talk about wine,
Oh, I guess you have to describe it that way, right?
it gets real quiet. Storm.
It is very woody.
Oh my god!
I taste the cedar. Tastes like
We're gonna
trauma.
talk about this.
What?
We'll try.
Tastes like trauma and adversity, but also I get a hint of overcoming and hope.
Amen. Hallelujah.
I like that. Yeah, no. I do find it interesting that they say that it's full-bodied. I don't get that. I would probably call it medium-bodied.
I think those are the words I was looking for.
Now, if it was a white wine,
Then it'd be, I don't know, affluent. I don't know.
I was really hoping like we stayed mature for this part and then afterwards.
Nah, this
But no,
is,
we're past it.
No,
the
this,
blurb
but it's good. It is a very easily drinkable wine. I do
Yeah.
agree with that. I think the black cherry does come in. Maybe the vanilla helps with the smoothness of the mouthful, the mouthfulness. But what would you guys rate it?
We've had it before.
Out of
The red
what's
one?
the scale again?
I,
Like 1 to 5?
I'm gonna give it a 2, man. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Are you not a wine person?
I'm an anything person as long as it tastes good. But I just
But do
this
you
isn't
drink
something
wine
I'd be
a lot?
like, oh, this is here. Let me pick this up. It's just kind of like that was an experience that I had. No, I appreciate it.
I think I'm not a big wine person, not a big red wine person either. I'd probably give this like a 3, not a 3. I'd say it's a bit thick, and it tastes a bit heavy to me.
Okay.
So you getting that full body?
I'm getting the full body.
Body.
But I'm not a red wine person.
Legs.
I think I appreciate more the fact
There's
that
a
this is.
coaster.
Yeah, but it's on a
Uncultured.
Okay.
I was just
The black
advised to
girls.
advise you that the
The black girls talking. Y'all just
my
decided to talk about coasters, and I was gonna say that I like the idea that this is a company that is a black female company. I imagine. I would hope. I feel like I'm more
Two black
appreciative.
sisters.
2 black sisters. I'm more
They're
appreciative.
actually their story is really wild, but I'm sorry, keep going.
No, that's really great. I'm more appreciative of sort of how there aren't a lot of like black distilleries or black winemakers. I don't know the name of them, but I think wineries. I'm more appreciative of the fact that this exists, but it still is wine. So at the end of the day, it's wine.
Yeah.
So no better, no worse. So yeah.
That's going to be part of the conversation that we're going to have later on in the show.
Is it?
About the
Appreciation of something
appreciation of
existing.
something existing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it because I was stuck.
That's fine.
in my
For
own
you.
head. Yeah. I don't. What?
Cobb is on one today, and it's going to be great.
What do you think about the wine?
Did you rate it though?
I said 3.
3. I'm sorry. I should have been listening better.
You weren't
I'm sorry.
listening. Why are we even drinking this?
Just throw it down.
Dad.
I threw it on the ground.
I'm an adult. We have had this before, actually, on the early on, but it might have been like season 2. But anyway,
Many moons ago.
my recollection of that time versus where we are now, I think we did it wrong. I think we drank it wrong. It was in my recollection, like we didn't drink it out of wine glasses. I think we chilled it. There was a lot of things wrong that we did with the wine. We mishandled the situation.
Sure.
Are you not supposed to chill wine? Red wine?
Not red.
Not
wine.
red wine.
Really?
So, in this experience, it's better. However, I slightly disagree with the pairings that I would have this with. It would definitely be a steak, but they were like brisket. I was like, that seems a little fatty for the body of this wine.
Yeah.
But
Interesting.
that's just in my opinion, my palate.
Not. What about a burger?
Depends on the burger. It couldn't be like a done-up burger with like jalapeno, and
You just want it straight from the grill?
it
Like,
would have to
straight
be
from
like a straight up
George,
burger with like a quick slab of like mayonnaise and a small piece of like provolone. Something. Anyway, moving on. I'm building up a menu here.
Oh my goodness.
I'm going to say 3.5 as a blend. Most blends are normally going to be on price point wise. They're normally going to be your more accessible or affordable wines because you're not getting a strongly aged wine. However, this has been with us. Shout out to James Kelly, by the way.
Jake
me,
Kells?
right here. James Kelly, appreciate you.
Jake Kells?
He definitely donated this to us.
He donated.
Hey,
Oh,
appreciate
very
that,
nice.
man.
Thank you
Who
so
gifted
much.
it to us, right?
OG
That's
Blerd
great.
Bar.
And
My guy.
One of the first.
one of our first barflies,
One of the first.
and also ascended barfly.
When's he gonna be a guest?
He's been a
He's
guest.
been a guest.
I wasn't here.
You.
You've
I was
always
here.
been here.
Oh, yeah, I was
So,
here.
yeah, 3.5.
Dope.
That's cool. I actually agree with the 3.5. It's nice. I would get it again. It doesn't knock my socks off as one of the better wines that I have had, but I do thoroughly enjoy it to a degree that I'd be like, I would have this in stock, right? Like a house wine kind of a thing where you like can introduce this to your friends, and I think they would be fine with it for the most part.
Word.
So, on to the weird question.
Yeah, the question.
Weird question.
Weird question.
Weird question. The question is weird.
Across the multiverse, amongst the hosts, who has the most evil twin?
What do you mean?
Out of us four, across the multiverse, who has the most evil twin?
Like, who has the... There's a variant out there that's evil.
of us.
And the idea is who's more evil.
Who's the most evil?
Which one
Who's
of
like
our
Apex?
variants is the worst? I've thought about this question. What'd I do?
No, I'm anticipating your answer.
And I want to be honest with you guys. Mm-hmm. It was hard for me to come up with the answer because
We're all a bunch of.
no, it's not even that. It's like who. It's almost the same as asking who do I think is the worst person here.
Is it?
No,
Yeah,
I think it's the opposite.
I would. Yeah, I was thinking more so like the
I'm thinking
opposite.
like the person like who I think here. Who do I think here at their worst is the worst, which is kind of like I don't know if I feel comfortable answering that question.
Oh, but you have an answer.
No, I don't. Because I've been.
I mean, you're among friends.
So you don't have the
Yeah.
answer.
The answer is me because you know what I mean, but I know that's a cop out.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Not about you,
Oh,
but I was
yeah.
thinking. I was thinking.
No,
that
it's okay if you do.
I was thinking
'Cause
that
I agree
I
with
would
you.
be the worst.
We're gonna clip
I
in
would
there,
be
right?
worse.
That's the clip. That's the clip.
No, I don't. No, I mean like I think I also agree that I think that I would be the most evil
Yeah,
because I'm so nice now.
and I know myself more than I know anybody else here.
Yeah.
To that point, I think answering this question with the knowledge I have of everybody, it would be me because I can know me. I know me at my worst.
Yeah,
I know me up here,
yeah,
like the stuff that I choose not to do
yeah.
versus.
I mean, last week we had a whole discussion about me assaulting an officer of the law. So I feel like I know that I would probably.
Is that your worst though?
I would hope so, but I don't think so.
Maybe. Do you mind if I give some parameters to this?
Yeah, parameters will help.
With the knowledge that you or the life you have lived now, like all the experiences have been the same. However, there's just that one caveat where you choose chaotic evil
Yeah.
in the other multiverse. Do you think that you would be more evil than one of us sitting here?
Wow. That's an intense question.
I definitely think I would be more evil.
I agree in the way that you were not trying to agree. I think Cobb has the most evil twin out of the multiverse.
Well, before I explain why I think I would be the most evil, can I hear why you think that?
Let's break your question. Let's break down your
Why do you think that?
Because I want to see if it's like the same.
I think you do you throw shots like in jest, and it's like, oh, the potential is there. And I think given the right parameters, I could see you going off.
You also have a lot more to be angry about.
Yeah.
Being black and a woman.
That's true. That's true.
Maybe. It's funny because I was thinking more so that like I work around people that are very vulnerable, right? So if I wanted to be evil, if I imagine myself being the most evil, I would think of myself with the same access to the same people and being absolutely terrible. So I would think more so about what I would do to others.
Your revenge scheme would be wild.
But
My revenge scheme, or even just me being just terrible. I have like children I have all these kids around me.
But
I
also, I
do the
think-
worst, and that's terrible.
I think that also goes to the point of like, that's why I think the nicest person would probably be the most evil person.
I agree.
Because like you are
pretty
helping
nice.
kids. So
Oh, you didn't say I was nice. You just said I'm helping.
yeah,
Okay.
I did. That's what I said. So stand 10 toes down on me. But what celebrity do you think has the most evil twin in the multiverse?
Keanu Reeves.
I knew
Tabitha
like
Brown.
somebody was gonna say
Keanu
that.
Reeves.
Wow.
Tabitha.
One, because he's right, like you said, when you think of like the nicest celebrity who's like going out of their way just to accommodate people and not step on any toes, create any interference as far as like he don't put his hand, physically touch anybody when he's taking photos with them. Like he's just like, I don't want nobody to misconstrue my
Tabitha literally prays for people.
sure, but that's her
means
business.
She's like a witch in like the multiverse.
And then, well, I don't want to.
She would be a
like
wild witch in the movie.
Yeah.
She'd be powerful.
So we're
right?
talking about how people present themselves,
Yeah.
and then
Who's,
what
like,
not
their-
based off of what the truth might actually be.
right. I mean, we already know.
The name of this
Harvey
episode
Weinstein
is
the
Tabitha
worst,
Brown is a
but-
powerful witch.
No, it is not. I need none of those prayers on me.
Because she will come after me. And she'll be like, That's
So
my
Tabitha
business.
Brown would be like the White Witch or the witch, the Wicked Witch of the.
Nope, I don't want this on me.
Which Wicked Witch with Tabitha Brown?
What is the superstition? I want that off me right now.
So the person I chose was also an actor because I think it's natural to choose actors. I chose Gary Oldman, and the reason why I chose Gary Oldman is because he can literally be anybody at any time.
That man's a chameleon.
He's a chameleon, literally. And
You know it's Gary Oldman, but
and
you
you've seen him play a bad guy. If he was actually a bad guy, which I don't know if he is or not, but if he actually was a bad guy and decided to be in disguise, it would be a bad day for a lot of people.
Everyone.
Yep.
It's my favorite line from him.
I don't know who my celebrity would be because I kind of don't know of any celebrities that I think are so wholesome or great.
Whitney Houston.
I mean, Whitney Houston never presented like she was so great
No.
of a person.
She also did play a villain in her own story at one point.
Which story? The
When it's her and Bobby, they was villains. They
Huh?
was burning the town down. When it was her and Bobby with that reality TV show, they was villains.
was like when later in life, like
Yes,
back
later in
right
life.
before she died.
Like when they had the reality TV show.
What was it
Did
called?
you not watch any of it?
No,
Okay, that's
this
why.
might have been before I was.
Honestly, I miss all
This
of
might
it.
have been, but I know there was a show happening that the daughter would sometimes show up in.
Yeah, that was when they were both like going through their drug stuff, and it was a wild time.
But I don't think Whitney has ever presented as so.
That would be her.
Righteous.
I asked you if that. If
Oh no,
Whitney
I don't
would
think
be
it.
the
Would, no, I don't think it would be Whitney Houston. I don't know. I really don't. That's a good. I feel like they're all kind of evil in some way, and it's really hard for me to.
That's
That
fair.
was,
It's a hard
interesting
question.
that you say that like, because the question actually brought up, like, it goes against my personal philosophy of we don't know these people at
Right.
all.
No.
Like, and the thing, I'm not going to go into it, but I can't stand culture. I think we've talked about this before.
Maybe
For
not.
that exact reason of we don't know these people. So when something like Lizzo happens, it's like, oh, I'm shocked. I'm like, well, she's quite literally a human being, and we don't know these niggas we at all.
At all.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
I can still see Tabitha Brown having the most evil twin because she's so nice.
I would agree
Yeah.
because you can see when she's holding back. You can see it,
When she did that read on Tamar,
and she prayed for her, and that prayer was a sharp prayer,
that had coals underneath that.
sharper
one.
than a two-edged sword, as they
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
It's funny how we don't think to name like known evil people as being more evil than the
Because I
most
feel
evil.
like-
That's too easy.
I feel like the dichotomy exists, right? Like that if
Like
there was
Vlad
an
doesn't
axis-
have a more evil person out there.
right. Like do you think
Putin's
Hitler
just
could be
Putin.
more evil than what he was?
I mean, everybody can be
When you
more
say
evil.
Vlad, are you talking about
Vladimir.
Vlad TV
Vladimir
or
Putin?
Vladimir Putin?
Vladimir Putin.
You saying
At first,
Vladdy.
when he first said that, I was either thinking the vodka or the
Oh.
boy that does the interviews.
Oh,
Then I'm like, wait
Yeah,
a minute.
that's what I was
Jesus.
thinking. Vlad TV because no one calls Vlad.
Yeah, only
Call
his,
him Putin.
only except his friends.
That's why I'm not the most evil. I don't have the most evil twin
I
'cause I'm
see.
already in here.
Well, let us know if you can think of
way to
anybody
end.
who you think would have a much more evil twin. Which obviously you can only go by public perception.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like the way most of our personalities are, we already kind of toe that line of being like, oh, we choose violence sometimes, and that's
We're
kind of
just
just
a
like
bunch
the
of great
range.
No.
Jedi.
But like that's just the range.
Speak
right?
for yourself.
Like, you jump the line.
Yeah.
Speak for
and,
yourself.
like that's your range. But I feel like the extent of like genocide
Wow.
versus healing the world like Mother Teresa.
Right.
Is that what she did?
No, she did not.
She didn't do none
when
of
we
that.
talk about it,
And your boy Gandhi was.
Gandhi also
Yeah, he
was
ain't
mad
like the black skins.
He was racist.
not the black skin.
Our
wasn't
history
that fair,
episode
was
is
it?
coming up.
Yep.
No,
So, what else is on tap, Josh?
That's it.
That's
the only
it?
other thing is the other
Bye,
black
guys.
The other black girl.
Oh yeah.
girl. Bye.
So I have a few questions.
Well, first, do we want to introduce like?
Well, yes, I'm gonna set it up.
All right,
I got
man.
a few questions. One to the barflies.
Hey.
Oh, I'm right here, right?
Hey.
That's me, right here. Thanks, producer. He's a good guy. The other black girl, currently streaming on Hulu, also is a book
Disney.
available by.
What's that boy name?
What's that boy? I don't want to pronounce her name wrong, so I won't do that. but her
I'm
last
just
name is
gonna look it
Harris.
up.
But I didn't want to pronounce it wrong even after looking it up.
I'm just
But-
gonna look it up.
Are we all looking
Their
it
last
up
name
now
is
at the same time?
Jimmy Carter.
It was also produced by the
producer is
same
wild.
girl that did that show on Amazon of the black girl that went to the college.
Yes.
Forgot the name of that show.
What you call him? Produced it.
And that boy and her
Zakiya
So-
Delilah
and-
Harris.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Delilah?
and the girl that
Delilah?
which comes
Delilah?
daughter.
Might be
Delilah.
Delilah.
Chrissy
sing-
Jones.
It might be
Rashida
Delilah.
Jones.
No, Rashida Jones.
Yes. Rashida Jones. Great.
Oh,
Sure, the first
Rashida
one's
Jones, yeah.
Zakiya.
Yeah. Thank you.
Zakiya Harris. That was the author of the book.
The other black girl.
And
Mariama.
developed by her and Rashida Jones.
And Mariama Diallo was the producer, who also made a show. So a lot of people that we know
A
of.
lot of people of color. A lot
I
of
think
black women.
this show
Mm-hmm.
addressed a lot of themes and presented a lot of questions that I feel like we wouldn't comfortably ask.
Okay. Yeah, let's
openly.
talk about it.
What's the
real
synopsis?
quick? I was about to say.
What is the show about?
Real
Most
quick.
people haven't seen it.
They haven't
The series focuses on Nella Rogers, who is an editorial assistant at Wagner Books,
Wagner.
and the only black woman working for the company until the hiring of Hazel May McCall. Following the hiring of Hazel, strange occurrences lead to Nella discovering the truth about Wagner's disturbing history. The story is inspired by Harris's own personal experience working as an editor and addresses various forms of racism in the corporate world. Wow, I didn't know that, but that's a fun little fact. Fun little factoid, if you will. And also, non-spoiler review for
Non-spoiler review.
Non-spoiler review.
Non-spoiler.
Some people might drop after this.
Some people might drop after this.
It's
yeah.
a great show. Watch the show. But
Yeah.
okay, that'll be tough.
Non-spoiler. I would say non-spoiler review and number.
What do you
Right,
mean by
rating.
number? Oh, okay.
Out of 5.
Non-spoiler review. I think it was a fun ride. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think to your points earlier before recording, the 30-minute time piece is great for this show and for the pacing. And I would give it 3.7. It was
Okay.
enjoyable.
Yeah, similar score for me. I was thinking 3.5s. I didn't know we can go to other fractions.
Sure.
But
enough.
yeah, I'll definitely give it a 3.5. I thought it was a solid show, above average show. I watched not the entire thing, but I watched the last 8 episodes of it between yesterday and today. So it's still pretty fresh, and I would say that I had a good time watching it. At the end of it, I felt, I want to say in a good way, in some bad ways, unfulfilled. However, that's what season 2 is for, kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily, we have to have all the answers right now. There were some
Definitely.
answers I would love to have had.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of motivations of characters.
Totally agree.
But I'm okay with, hey, give me a season 2, I'll be there. Yeah.
I actually think that the show is complete. I think that the 10 episodes were enough, and I think that it concluded in a way where I think it kind of any of the questions that I had that were unanswered was because of bad writing. But I do think that the show, that's not no shade on the show. I'm saying that I think that the show ended, right? I think that it kind of closed up.
That's no shade on the show.
No, it's not. I mean, I think that the show was entertaining. It really did highlight what it means to be a black person, specifically a black woman, working in a white-dominated field that's also trying to make an economic rise in the economic and social ladder within that job. It was something that I felt like I could relate to, even though I never have and I never will be in a setting that is predominantly white and navigating white spaces, especially white creative spaces. But I do think that the show did a really good job at you really like incorporating the anxiety and the stress of working in a setting dominated by white creatives. The writing, I think, was a bit. It wasn't the best writing, in my opinion. I don't think that its way of demonstrating that point that I was talking about was done in the best way. It was really hard to figure out whether it was a supernatural or a horror or it felt like a
That is
mystery
a
at
big
times,
question.
a dark comedy at times,
Yeah.
and maybe that's cool that it's not like in one genre, but
Yeah.
you're gonna get a little bit of everything. But I think ultimately there were still some, wait, huh? Or how did that happen? Or why did that happen? The 30-minute intervals felt very comfortable for me because, you know, it moved quickly.
Yep.
But I do think that it felt very slow at the beginning, and then at the end it just sped. Like, it just went full blast, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Now it's really starting to get good, and now it's almost over. So it's really hard in pacing.
Yeah.
But I would say overall, I would probably give it about a 3.5. I was not happy with the ending at all. The ending was an ending, but if it didn't make me feel good about it. But it was an enjoyable show. I think that it was enjoyable at the very least. So that's me.
Did you give your score and review? Okay, I'll wait then.
Did you give a score?
Yeah, I just said
3.5.
3.5.
We gotta start listening to.
They're not listening to the black girl.
We have to listen to the black woman in the room.
What, just for today?
No,
At
in
least.
general.
Why do you sound so serious?
Because it's a serious
It
topic.
was very serious.
You're the one that doesn't listen the most.
Just
kidding. Just kidding. Thank you for that. Thank you for advocating for me.
I'm gonna give the show a 1.
Oh,
Okay.
Just to no, I'm kidding.
Oh.
Just because I was lashing out. I was lashing out, and it was irresponsible of me. I think I think the overall show does a phenomenal job of marrying sci-fi, surrealism, comedy, and drama. While they cannot achieve all of these things consistently,
Yeah.
it does marry them in a way that if you've been a fan of Atlanta, Swarm,
Get Out.
Get Out, definitely heavily inspired by a lot of those shows and movies, I think this adds to the conversation of kind of what we talked about, was it last week or the week before, of black horror and what that looks like. And unfortunately, I don't think we can get a genuine horror movie outside of social interaction because that's where the horror for our existence lies.
I agree.
You know, white people get scared by stuff that we don't see every day because they're at the apex of it. So, you know, they gotta be bored and create a monster because they are. So,
Oh boy.
so the overall show, what do I give it? I think a 3 is right in the middle for it.
Sure.
And leaning more toward the above average for kind of what you get and the time frame that you get and the 10 episodes that nowadays seems to be the norm, 10 or less, honestly, when you're ordering a digital series.
Yeah.
So I do think the one way that this can be approved upon is cohesive writing, but also a much more focused narrative. The only reason why the show pivots so frequently is because you are following multiple characters. And these characters don't necessarily... No, most times they're not in the same room.
Right.
So you're like,
Yeah.
why is she important all of a sudden?
Yeah.
I think the casting was phenomenal as well. Very smart to not get A-star names, but definitely be people that you are familiar with if you've ever watched shows
it's her.
Right.
Yeah.
If you've ever watched, old 90s sitcoms to Scandal, and then The Office and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's things like that I think you can appreciate. So,
So that is our spoiler-free review.
If you have not yet watched the show or read the book and want to save this for yourselves, stop right here. Don't go past this line. But come back for the quest item if you actually watched the entire episode. If you didn't watch the entire episode, then
That's on you, bro.
that's on you. But you can come back after you watch the show, and this episode will still be here.
Or just mute us or something.
That's
So look at our faces.
sure.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into it.
Yeah.
So now
I didn't
it's-
think we were.
So
that's
now
why I
it's
was like, okay, how do
spoiler.
I navigate this?
Now it's
So this is
spoilers.
spoilers. Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. That's enough. All right.
Okay.
You had a point that I don't want you to lose.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
we'll go
So
right to you.
my point was the main antagonist. It's Danielle.
Nella.
No.
No,
Antagonist.
antagonist.
Oh,
Antagonist.
her name
Hazel.
was Hazel.
No.
Ava.
Big girl.
Oh, the
Gracie.
Diane
Is
Gordon.
that how we're addressing her? Big
Well,
girl?
no, like because
I mean,
she was
she
like
is tall.
She's tall. But she's also
Are we
like the
talking
big
about-
boss.
Are
Yeah,
we talking
yeah.
about Diana?
Yeah, Diana.
Oh, Diana. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going straight to the end.
That's fine.
So I don't even want to know if I call it an issue, but I don't know why she's doing what she's doing. I don't know if that just missed me completely. Now, let me clarify that. I know that she feels slighted by just life and the way things are set up against us, and how the odds are stacked against us. So she feels as though that she needs to create a way in which we can have a carefree, a worry-free version of ourselves via essentially drugs. She's a drug dealer.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So I understand that. What I'm saying is I don't understand why she went that route, like the drug route or the hair grease route. Like, why is she?
She's a black woman.
And it's symbolic.
No.
right?
I'm saying, okay, maybe I'm asking too many questions. I'm sorry, but it's very much.
They're your questions to ask. So sure.
It's very much okay. Cool. I want to mind control, or I want to relieve these people, or mind control them, or provide them that. Okay, cool. How'd you get started? Who'd you go to? Who came up with the chemical formula?
Yeah, no, I think that's season 2.
That's where I'm like, okay, cool. So when I say I don't know,
But my question is, does that matter? Does it matter, like,
to me it does.
For lore's sake, yes. If we want to build the universe, yeah.
Yeah.
But does it really matter in terms of the story where she got it from?
Yeah, to me it does, because she's a writer.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is she's not someone who works in a chemical industry. She's not someone who is even remotely close to that, unless she mind controls someone else who was one of them was I think a chemical biologist, one of the people. But that person was
Way later.
and turned by that time. So they had no input on the formula. So I guess my thing was like, okay, cool. How did you get to this being your methodology of how you want to alleviate the stress of black women, and it seemed like just black women in the workplace?
That's interesting.
Yeah, because there's no, other than the barber who's there for 5 seconds, and the other author who's there for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
There's no other black men in the story. So, not to say they're quote or whatever, but what I'm saying is it seemed like she targeted black women for her. And then the other part was, to what end though? Like, I want to give them alleviate their stress, but there's also a cultish aspect to it.
Yeah.
And cults have reasonings, purposes, mission statements. So it's kind of like, how does it benefit her necessarily? So that was kind of like my biggest, and I'm trepidatious to say issue, because like you said, that's a season 2 thing.
I didn't say it was a season 2 thing. He said it was season 2.
Sorry, you said it was a season 2 thing, and I agree with that to an extent. But we were with her for so long that it felt like, oh, okay, why? But why though?
So my thing with that is that as a character, she was there somewhat early. I think episode 4.
Yeah, she came into the picture.
She was talked about from episode 1.
From jump.
Sure, she was talked about, but we didn't even really see her until episode 4, maybe 5. So, so we've only and even then, it wasn't even revealed that she was the big bad until 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, and throughout all that time, she's just the great mentor come down to help people out. Now, when you start actually learning that she is the big bad and all that stuff, I think to me it was pretty. It seemed like her goal and agenda was to create a group of black successful women.
Sure.
Now the methodology of it problematic.
But that's what I'm saying. Plenty of black women have created places where black women can succeed together without
But
drugging
not
them.
in this universe.
And also, like, we also have to think that it sounds very much like trying to create capitalism in blackface, but in this case, black woman face. Whereas, like, it sounds like she just wanted to, because she wasn't building an army. She was building an army of, like, quote unquote downtrodden black girls. She wasn't creating a person that was okay being a cashier or a hairdresser. She was trying to create biochemists and businesswomen in the first.
But
So
she was also
only
having those people jumped.
Yeah, but she was only interested in creating an elite, right? And in order for there to be an elite, there needs to be somebody that is not an elite, right? So it sounds like she was just trying to build a world that is very similar to what we have now, but just black and female.
Yeah.
And
She was just trying to put people in the right place.
but at the
For
cost,
the drugs and the jumping?
but in its power, when you
the
ask the question
power.
of what does that do for her, it's power, right?
Yeah.
She gets more power, and
Because
it's
she knows
only
the powerful
about
people.
Yeah, and it sounds like okay, that sounds very much like the world we live in now, but it's flipped. Where it's
Sure.
like a black woman trying to do, and at first when I was watching, I'm like, what's wrong with that? Like, I'm like, what's wrong with like black girls?
I
Like,
still feel that way.
I mean, I felt that way, but then I'm like, well, wait a minute, it's not consensual.
I don't agree with her methods, but I agree with putting the people in place.
Yeah, and I'm all for putting people in great positions. You guys will notice my entire issue is with drugging and jumping. Like that's my issue.
But and I know you want to speak.
I want you guys to defend drugging and jumping.
The identity
defend.
that I
That's-
want
that's
to
a little
kind of happen here
antagonistic.
is to let everyone kind of voice their opinion.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
because if we jump in, complete thoughts aren't happening.
We're gonna lose
so
our
I don't
thoughts.
want to. I don't want to risk that. But to your point,
Yeah.
you had said like the kind of expecting what the reasoning behind it. I think they answered it pretty clearly. Of her idea is to create industry leaders
Sure.
that are all kind of like-minded, that like once we're in there, we're at the top of we're the upper echelon, right? In this book world, she's one of the greatest writers, world-changing author, once-in-a-lifetime book, first one to do, get magazine covers and interviews, all these other things.
Did you notice the Ebony magazine?
I did.
That was cool.
I thought that was, and
that's why you need black people in the room.
and
that's what she's doing.
That was the
No, I'm
conversation.
talking about the writers of the show.
Yeah.
That's true.
But that was the conversation, and her talking point was that, hey, the reason why we keep having to punch uphill is because we're not in the room. And so I'm cultivating a group of women to put in the room. And whether that's through grifting and changing alibis and changing cities and all these other things, it was a very by any means necessary kind of vibe. I don't think I would call it drugging in the same way of it like being an upper or a downer. It's very much like, it was almost like ecstasy if the person, if it didn't reject, the host didn't reject it, right? Because it was just removing the inhibitors to go for those things. It removed like, one second, but like it removes self-doubt, right? It allowed for them to, alongside the grift part, right, where she builds up, boosts their resumes and stacks all these stories. They have the mental confidence to be like, I belong in this room.
Yeah.
And so whether that was by ways of lies or whatever, that's what the hair grease to me represented, was just like the power of self-identity is what keeps them in these spaces. And as far as the origin of the hair grease, I thought about it, and then I was also like, I don't think I need that. I think if we look at it from the fact that like this is its own world, someone did create it. Is it necessarily a season 2 thing that I need? I'm pretty sure we're going to get, because they got to pad the time somewhere, right? You can't just keep driving the story along, because that's bad business, capitalism. But your retort.
My retort was just specifically about the drugging part.
Sure.
I do consider it drugging. And the reason why is because a lot of the women who were offered it in the way that you would offer someone a drug.
Sure.
And not to mention,
There
were several times.
Involuntary.
And there was involuntary.
How do we know that the drug was,
or
or how do we know that was actually a drug and not a placebo?
because the involuntary will tell you, like, if you don't put a placebo on somebody involuntarily, because it won't work if you don't tell them that it's happening.
You also don't run trials on people either.
But also, I mean, we don't really have a lot of evidence that it was actually something chemical. She also intentionally targeted girls that were vulnerable, and that's what cults do. Cults target people who are vulnerable, who need
drug
it.
them.
And no, they use charisma and they use what they need, their sense of belonging, them struggling financially, socially.
Sure.
They use that.
Sure.
And yeah, I think that the drug is and the hair grease is just symbolic of, I think a lot of the show, what is redeeming is I think that a lot of it was symbolic. I don't think that it was actually supernatural. I think like Nelly seeing the woman from the 80s, I don't actually think that she was seeing her. I think that the girl from the 80s represented blackness and it, or not, or it just was her sort of questioning what, like her place in the world and trying to enter the white world, like leave Wagner now, get out of there. Like it sounds like it's her own conscious, right, that is materializing and looking like this woman who was in this position. I don't actually think that she was seeing anything. I think that I think that it was just like her internal, struggle with the fact that she was struggling to not sell out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that that's just kind of what it all represented. And I don't know if the hair grease is a real drug or not. I think that it would make the show more compelling if it was not. We won't ever know that, but I think it would be more compelling. It's no coincidence that these girls all was down in their luck and needed something. And all of a sudden they meet this very charismatic person that somehow either convinced them or failed to convince them that they needed to be a part of this. Now, I think it was dramatized because obviously the girl was locked up in the room and she's like, you shouldn't have been looking for me. And it kind of seemed like, okay, there's something really nefarious going on.
Yeah.
But I think it makes the show more compelling to think, well, maybe it wasn't really about the hair grease, but more so like our insecurities being targeted.
What do you think, Barflies? Let us know down in
still
the
here?
comments. I would hope
Are you
so.
still watching?
But I do want to wrap this up. Even though I didn't get my answer about the ending, I think we should move on. Just
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. About the ending?
I thought we all said what we thought about the
What did
ending.
you think about the ending?
No, I'm not worried.
60-second shot
It
clock.
was just. I think.
He hated it.
I think season 2 would only, if there's a potential season 2, it could borderline run the risk of the sorry to bother you ending, and I don't want that. If you don't remember the sorry to bother you ending, look it up.
I remember that.
Okay.
I don't want that for this show. So I'd rather
Just
it stop
for
here.
it to go so left. You think it's gonna go so left?
I feel like if they have to
I think it
explain
has
it,
a
it's
lot
going
of
to go
potential.
left.
But they had a book.
Super left.
Sure, the book is the parameters. The show is the beast. Anyway, we have reached the end of the episode. We thank you for sticking along with us. If you liked our synopsis on this,
Leave a
Let
like
us know.
and a comment.
if you have not yet watched the
Subscribe.
show but you stuck along with us, let us know if we're correct or if we were absolutely wrong about the show.
Give us your thoughts about the show.
Yes. But if you didn't see as much of this show that you wanted to, it's because you didn't subscribe to Patreon. And we would like for you to do that so that way you get the full unedited episode. And join us in the Discord and give us suggestions for topics if you don't watch shows like The Other Black Girl. Maybe you want to suggest something else, like Static Shock or something.
Something.
Static shock.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I love that shit.
Also,
quest item.
oh,
I got to do quest item.
sure. I just know that there's a special episode coming up next week
Oh, there is.
where we talk about
Are we talking about anime stuff?
anime openings and
Openings
anime
and
endings.
endings.
It's our tournament episode.
open.
We're going to argue this stuff down.
Yeah.
I'm dying on my hill for
We're
mine.
all gonna agree on everything.
Okay.
As we usually do.
Because, we're not 4 different people. We
We're
are
a
a monolith.
monolith.
So,
Hair grease.
the quest item is a comb.
grease?
If they,
No,
if they just yelled hair grease when
not
they
hair
did
grease. It is a comb.
It's Vicks.
No matter how short or long
Bro.
your hair is,
Your
whenever you
nose.
comb it, it's going to pick something.
Is that a
It's
hot
gonna-
comb?
It's going to get a knot. Not a hot comb. Just a regular comb.
Okay.
Even if you got a Caesar, you want to comb it, it just go ping. Just you know that feeling.
Oh,
like a-
yeah.
That's a
bad
black
comb.
experience.
When you had
just a regular
peas.
comb.
This is a bad comb. I don't.
No, it's
nobody likes that.
It's a regular
No,
comb.
no, that's your
Should've said
hair.
Your hair.
You should've said a hot
Your
comb.
tight. No, hot comb is dangerous.
But like a comb that always picks out, like, why?
It's a cursed item. That's how I'm looking at it.
Oh, it's a cursed item.
You said a quest item.
Quest
You did
item
say a quest item.
It still can be
You said a
cursed
key item in our
I
inventory.
didn't say
That
key.
helps
I
us.
said
I don't
cursed.
like it.
I said a quest item. You don't have to use it.
I won't.
Oh.
But
That was forceful.
you don't have to use it, but it's an item you got. So deal with it.
Nice.
We like you. We care about you. And we hope that you have a blessed night. Peace.
Yes, nah.
It was a good episode. It's a good discussion. Great discussion.
I think we're still live. Still talking.
Are we? Well, at least they know that we feel good about each other.
Yeah.
We're not fighting. There's not boxing in the back.
You start hearing broken glass.
All right, on site.
First of all, you know how I really feel about this?